It's going to get really bright.
Okay.
Like really bright.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, we're back. I'm going to fix this just a little bit. And I have the pleasure of being joined by, I didn't get your last name, I apologize, Olivia.
Simpson.
Olivia Simpson. She's been kind enough to donate her time to our show. Welcome to the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We are live at the Terrior Symposium. Olivia said last night it was very loud, and it seems to be very loud again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we met 75 seconds ago. Tell myself and the listeners what you do, why you're here, and a brief story of you and food.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Actually, I get this question a lot, and somehow I never seem to perfect it. So here we go. So basically, I started off in kitchens with a nutrition background and worked in tons of kitchens across Toronto, and then moved to New York City. Worked there for a year, staging my way around everywhere just to get experience and inspiration and kind of see how that lifestyle was. It was intense. It broke me for sure. And then I moved back to Toronto, and I met my business partner and life partner, Ricky. We both co-chefed at some restaurants in Toronto, ran our own, and we've always been Feast On certified as a restaurant. And about last May, we quit our jobs and we were like, let's just do a working vacation. We had never had a vacation together, and I was like, let's just like take some time off. So we did pop-ups around the city, around Ontario, and it started off, and I was like, I don't think we need to go back to work because this is kind of turning into our job, and we had a lot of fun. It's been really eye-opening. You're packing and unpacking every day, which is kind of shitty. But you get to cook in every single environment possible, sometimes with no heating elements, sometimes in the back of a truck, sometimes in a field. It's crazy. So we've learned to be really flexible and creative and just have fun with it. And so, so we're the Feast On Chef Ambassadors. We live and breathe Ontario and really celebrate and feature every farm possible here and really value the hard work that goes into farming in Ontario. And so what we're doing this summer is we're opening a restaurant at Westcott Vineyards. It's going to be totally seasonal, so open from May to October. And it's going to be a patio party.
Amazing.
Yeah, outdoor kitchen, outdoor seating, obviously. And
was that a brainchild of you both, or was that something that they approached you with?
Yeah. Basically, we started doing pop-ups there last year, and just one-off dinners. And in the wintertime, they do something called Fireside Fridays. So basically, guest chefs get together, and you cook by a fire in this 200-year-old Mennonite barn and share a beautiful menu with some locals. And they really liked us, and they were like, hey, you want to try this out? And we're like, sure.
Amazing.
That's good, yeah.
So I'm from Vancouver.
Cool.
Most of my listeners are Western Canada, but now we're talking to like Germany and Italy as well. So there's a broad range of people. Help me understand what Feast On certified means and how it actually impacts what you do.
So Feast On is a certification under the Ontario Culinary Tourism Alliance. So basically it's a certification that supports restaurants, chefs, farmers, suppliers in Ontario, and helps make the connection from the restaurant and the chef to the farmer. Because a lot of the time it's an education piece. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time it's just a matter of connecting two people in order to carry a product or in order to understand that there's so many things that you can actually get in Ontario that are grown locally. So Feast On helps facilitate that connection between the two groups in that same industry, and they are a great platform for Ontario and supporting vineyards, supporting Ontario wine, liquor, beer, as well as all the food and the chefs that are kind of like a taste of place, the taste of terroir, which is what we're kind of talking about today. Yeah,
which is kind of why we're all here, which is so cool. I'm hoping that someday we can have something similar to this in BC, because I feel like BC has so much to offer as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, if you were to speak directly to people in BC, chefs in BC, farmers in BC. What do you feel like, or even just coast to coast to coast, what do you feel like Ontario should be recognized for, as far as what is the one product you are like the proudest that this terroir provides to you as a chef and as a consumer? Like, what do you think is better than anywhere else in the country or anywhere else in the world? Would it be like, I know pork is a big thing in Ontario.
Yeah.
There's some amazing pork being raised here.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some great wines as well.
Yeah.
But what is maybe one of your favorite things to consume, or maybe one of your favorite things to work with, as far as a product?
I think Ontario has a ton to offer, and I'm always surprised about what you can get. Like, Ontario has edamame, which is really cool. And that's, we get ours from Pristine Gourmet, which is a beautiful, like, and they do sunflower seed oil, like everything. And you'd never really think that you could get all those products.
Yeah.
Ontario shrimp. I'm kind of speaking biasly, although very proudly. Planet Shrimp is kind of like the largest scale commercially. It's an aquaculture, and they're raising shrimp in the most ethical and sustainable way, and super clean. It's literally fresh water inland in an aquaculture facility.
Amazing.
And like just things like that. Like Ontario, I feel, is very innovative, and I'm sure every province has something they're super proud of. Like maple syrup, but it's a Canadian thing. You know, like there's so much, and it's hard to just pinpoint one thing. Yeah.
Do you feel like what you're doing now, what you and Ricky are doing now, you're exposing yourself to such a broader education than you would get if you were typically working in a kitchen, like, you know, working on the line? Or do you feel like this would have been a natural evolution as it is? Or do you feel like because you've immersed yourself in this kind of untraditional mold of what you're doing, do you feel like it's kind of expedited that process, that education a bit?
Yeah. Well, I find restaurants that are Feast On certified, they do have that opportunity to have that educational piece, to reach out and to really learn about what's going on in their region. Pop-ups is a different area because, well, I feel like a restaurant, you're always there, and sometimes it kind of gets mundane day to day. But with pop-ups, you're always in a different venue. You're always trying to connect with the next person, trying getting into another space, trying to meet another person to collaborate with. And a lot of our pop-ups have been collaborations. One, because we were super new and no one knew our names, so we were like, okay, let's find people who have a name and you know, help out, get them to help us out. But I think pop-ups, in terms of a collaboration, show that the chef community really supports each other and really wants to celebrate everybody's talents. And so it's just a different way of cooking, and it's a different way of sharing that skill set. And I don't know, it's a different connection to people.
Yeah, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. I have one last question for you. It's a selfish question. Back in BC, I host a number of charity dinners. It's called the Half a Dozen Hospitality Podcast. So we do half a dozen dinners throughout the year.
Cool. Yeah.
Different chef, different farm, and then all the money goes to a local food-based charity.
Yeah.
So this next dinner coming up, shameless plug, June 22nd, in Abbotsford. Actually, the owner of the brewery is somewhere here, Josh Vanderhyde. Shout out Josh, Fieldhouse Farms. So we're taking a chef from Australia, flying him out. He's going to cook a 6-course plant-based dinner.
Wow.
On a farm. You've done this before, or a version of it.
Yeah.
What are give Thomas, who's a chef, give Thomas some advice. What are things that he has to consider when we're literally building a kitchen on a farm?
Right. It's a temporary kitchen,
Yes.
like just for the night.
Yes.
Be very flexible and spontaneous.
Right.
For us, I feel like a very proud moment when the dish turns out the way I pictured it.
Right.
But just have fun with it, and don't be too strict with yourself, and just go with the flow, because there's going to be things that come up that aren't going to be expected. And I think bring a ton of spoons and a ton of napkins, and, you know, equipment that maybe you don't necessarily like think about in terms of cooking, but like sometimes we'll get to an event and I'll be like, oh crap, my mixing, like I don't even have a mixing bowl today. You know what I mean? So just like very basic things that you can just hold stuff.
Go basic.
Yeah.
Go basic.
Go basic, have fun with it. But also I think people really, when they're going to one of those dinners that's very farm associated, like let the ingredients speak for yourself.
Yeah,
like you're a talented chef. Yeah. You have an incredible skill set. So just be very basic with it. And
do what you do.
Yeah.
If people want to reach out, they want to engage, how best they reach out to you and Ricky, how best they engage your product, your brand.
Yeah, we are self-marketed, which is really fun to learn.
Yeah.
But you can reach us on our website, rickyandolivia.com, or Ricky and Olivia, which is our Instagram. And my phone number's up there. Like,
Cool.
I'm pretty transparent.
Her phone number's there, guys. Just like send her a creepy text.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Ricky will come find you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's RICKY and Olivia, spelled the same way,
Yeah.
.com. Or
Yeah.
yeah? Sweet.
That's it, yeah. Come check us out, and
yeah.
we're always having fun. So
What about maybe someday flying out to Vancouver and popping up out in BC?
Totally.
Yeah?
Anytime after October, because I'm kind of dug in a hole right now.
Yeah, you're kind of tied up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for more amazing interviews. Please do support Ricky and Olivia and all that they're doing. Go on social media, give them a follow, give them a like, share their brand, share their story. And thank you for doing what you're doing. Thanks for making time for me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, you guys.
Yeah,
Nice
that's
talking
it.
to you.
We're done. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Awesome. How was that for you?
Good.